Today, our topic is how to avoid distractions using Stoicism. Life is full of distractions. Every day, we face things that pull our attention away from what truly matters. It could be social media, endless notifications, gossip, or even our own wandering thoughts. These distractions make it hard to focus on our goals and live a meaningful life. But Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, offers practical tools to help us avoid distractions and stay focused on what really counts. Stoicism teaches us to control our minds, to focus on what we can control, and to let go of what we cannot. It reminds us that distractions are not just external things, but also internal emotions, desires, and fears. By practicing Stoicism, we can learn to live with clarity, purpose, and peace. Let's explore how Stoicism can help us avoid distractions and live better. The first step to avoiding distractions is understanding what is within our control and what is not. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "Some things are in our control and others are not." Our thoughts, actions, and decisions are within our control. Everything else, other people's opinions, the past, the future, or the weather, is not. Distractions often come from things outside our control. For example, someone might say something hurtful, or a bad situation might arise. These things can distract us because we focus too much on them. But Stoicism teaches us to focus only on what we can control, our own reactions and choices. When we do this, distractions lose their power over us. Instead of worrying about things we cannot change, we can focus on what we can do to improve our lives. Another Stoic principle that helps with distractions is the idea of living in the present moment. The Stoics believe that the past is gone and the future is uncertain. The only time we truly have is the present. Distractions often come from thinking too much about the past or worrying about the future. For example, you might be distracted by regrets about something you did wrong or fears about what might happen tomorrow. But Stoicism teaches us to focus on the present moment. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor, wrote, "Do not disturb yourself by thinking of the whole of your life. Do not think of all the various troubles that may occur in the future. Instead, focus on the task at hand." By focusing on the present, we can avoid the distractions of regret and worry and give our full attention to what we are doing right now. Stoicism also teaches us to be mindful of our desires. Many distractions come from wanting things we don't have or chasing things that don't truly matter. For example, we might want more money, more fame, or more likes on social media. These desires can distract us from what is truly important to our values, our relationships, and our inner peace. The Stoics believed that true happiness comes from within, not from external things. Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." By recognizing that external things cannot bring us lasting happiness, we can free ourselves from the distractions of endless desire and focus on what truly matters. Another powerful Stoic tool for avoiding distractions is the practice of negative visualization. This means imagining the worst-case scenario and accepting it. For example, if you are distracted by fear of failure, imagine what would happen if you did fail. Ask yourself, what is the worst that could happen? Often, you will find that the worst-case scenario is not as bad as you thought. This practice helps you face your fears and reduces their power to distract you. It also helps you appreciate what you have. By imagining the loss of something you value, you can become more grateful for it and less distracted by the desire for more. For example, if you imagine losing your job, you might feel more grateful for having it and less distracted by thoughts of wanting a better one. Stoicism also teaches us to be disciplined with our time and attention. Distractions often come from not having clear priorities. We waste time on things that don't matter because we haven't decided what does. The Stoics believed in living a life of purpose and virtue. They ask themselves, what is the best use of my time right now? By focusing on what is most important, we can avoid wasting time on distraction. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This reminder of the shortness of life helps us focus on what truly matters and avoid distractions. Another Stoic practice that helps with distractions is journaling. The Stoics believed in reflecting on their day, examining their thoughts and actions, and learning from their mistakes. This practice helps you become more aware of your distractions and how to avoid them. For example, at the end of the day you might write, "Today I was distracted by social media for 2 hours. I could have used that time to work on my project." By reflecting on your distractions, you can become more mindful of them and make better choices in the future. Journaling also helps you clarify your goals and values, making it easier to focus on what truly matters. Stoicism also teaches us to be resilient in the face of distractions. Life will always have challenges and distractions, but we can choose how we respond to them. The Stoics believe that obstacles are opportunities for growth. For example, if someone interrupts you while you are working, instead of getting frustrated, you can see it as a chance to practice patience. If you face a difficult situation, instead of being distracted by fear, you can focus on finding a solution. By seeing challenges as opportunities, you can turn distractions into moments of growth. Another important Stoic principle is to simplify your life. Distractions often come from having too many choices or too much clutter. The Stoics believed in living a simple life, free from unnecessary things. For example, if you have too many apps on your phone, you might be distracted by constant notifications. If you have too many commitments, you might feel overwhelmed and unable to focus. By simplifying your life, you can reduce distractions and focus on what truly matters. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." By being content with less, you can free yourself from the distractions of wanting more. Stoicism also teaches us to be mindful of our emotions. Distractions often come from letting our emotions control us. For example, if you feel angry or anxious, you might be distracted by negative thoughts. The Stoics believed in observing our emotions without being ruled by them. They practiced what is called the discipline of assent, which means not immediately agreeing with every thought or emotion that arises. For example, if you feel angry, instead of acting on that anger, you can pause and ask yourself, "Is this anger helpful? Does it serve my goals?" By observing your emotions without being controlled by them, you can avoid distractions and make better decisions. Finally, Stoicism teaches us to focus on our own progress rather than comparing ourselves to others. Distractions often come from envy or the desire to keep up with others. For example, you might be distracted by what someone else has achieved or how they look. But the Stoics believed that true success comes from living according to your own values and improving yourself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." By focusing on your own growth and not comparing yourself to others, you can avoid distractions and stay true to your path. In conclusion, Stoicism offers powerful tools to help us avoid distractions and live a focused, meaningful life. By understanding what is within our control, living in the present moment, being mindful of our desires, practicing negative visualization, being disciplined with our time, journaling, being resilient, simplifying our lives, observing our emotions, and focusing on our own progress, we can overcome distractions and live with clarity and purpose. Stoicism reminds us that distractions are not just external things, but also internal thoughts, emotions, and desires. By mastering our minds, we can master our lives. As Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." By practicing Stoicism, we can become masters of ourselves and live a life free from distractions.